Every year in July, more than 300 11-year-old children come to Fukuoka from all over Asia and the Pacific region. They are the junior ambassadors to the Asian Pacific Children's Convention in Fukuoka, otherwise known as the APCC. The children are full of nerves and excitement when they arrive, and they are greeted by the friendly faces of the APCC volunteers wearing their signature yellow t-shirts.
このボランティアさんはすごく実際に子どもたちと接する時間ってすごく短いんですよね。でもその中でやっぱり初めて福岡に来て会うボランティアだし、何かしら温かく迎えてあげたいということで真心を伝えたいということでみんなで一生懸命準備をしてやっています。
The children are taken to Marine House to join the exchange camp as soon as they arrive. This is where they spend time with children of many different nationalities, learning about Japanese culture and lifestyle. At the exchange camp, the children have fun together despite their differences.
Thank you.
やっぱりすごく思うのがですね、やっぱりその国と国でやっぱりその争いっていうか仲が良くないとことかがあったとしても、もう別に普通に子供会議で一緒にサッカーとかをやってるんですよね。民族間の争いとかあるところでも、もう本当ここはもう国境も何もないっていう。
もう本当に言葉の壁っていう大きな壁があるじゃないですか。子どもたち同士だったり子どもたちと一緒だとすごいそれがもうなくなってしまって、常に本当に心を開いた状態で触れ合えるっていう、いつも生活している自分とここでの自分っていうのがですね、また違う面っていうのを見つけれるのがすごいそこがハマれる理由じゃないかなっていうふうに思ってます。
At the end of the exchange camp, the children meet their host families. Both the junior ambassadors and the host families have been looking forward to meeting each other for a long time. During the homestay, the participants come together one more time to take part in a huge event in the heart of Fukuoka City. This event gives the participants and spectators a chance to experience the various cultures of the participating countries and regions through music and dance. In 1998, to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the APCC, some of the participants from the past 10 years were invited to return to Fukuoka once again as peace ambassadors.
I'm just cutting my hair. これが私 私1回目にここに来たのがきっかけになって英語を勉強するようになりました。英語もね、偉いね。
Not of concrete and cement, but from heart to heart.
While they were in Fukuoka, the Peace Ambassadors formed an organisation called the Bridge Club. The Peace Ambassadors come together to discuss the problems their countries are facing during the annual Bridge Club camp. The Bridge Club has helped ex-participants to form networks of them APCC alumni. In 2004, Titi from Bridge Club Bangladesh was invited to the United Nations in New York to make a presentation about APCC's activities at the 2004 Young Leaders Summit.
In New York, 8th goal is global partnership. JCI Japan, especially the JC Fukuoka, is working on this goal with the collaboration of APCC. And we went there to have a presentation on APCC activities, and which is related to the Millennium Development Goal 8, the global partnership. After our presentation, all the members of Junior Chamber, all the national leaders from each countries, they asked me more about our activities, and they also wanted to join APCC, and they asked me to approach APCC after coming back to Japan.
APCC participants everywhere have a special bond forged during their time in Fukuoka. The Bridge Club network helps them to use their experiences to work together on projects that promote peace and coexistence. As their homestay draws to a close, the junior ambassadors and their host families prepare to say goodbye and return to their normal routines. The exchange of cultures and languages, which begins with 11-year-old junior ambassadors, forms the basis of their experience as global citizens. These children become ambassadors, spreading friendship around the world. The APCC began in 1989 as part of the Asian Pacific Expo. Behind the success, which has enabled the APCC to continue for so many years, there is a tremendous amount of effort and passion.
国際人として洗練されるために我々にはどういうトレーニングが必要なのかということを考えた。それはまず福岡市民が外国の方々と接することじゃないか。そこからいろんないわば動機づけができたり、あるいはその国際人としての意識が育まれたりするんではないか。
やっぱり宗派が違ったり宗教が違ったり、宗教が一番多いんですけど、そういうふうにして相手は悪いやつだというふうに教えられてしまうのを本当はいやあの時あった子供たちそうじゃなかったというふうになってくれば平和になんとかつながっていかないかなというのが一番大きな願いですよね。
The original aim was to bring together 1,000 children in Fukuoka. This proved to be a monumental event in terms of scale and participant numbers. Senji Kobayashi was one of the directors of Fukuoka Junior Chamber when the APCC was founded. At the time, they were unsure of whether they would be able to put on such an ambitious event, but Mr. Kobayashi gathered together and said to them,
みんなに申し訳ないってみんなの力が 120% 出してくれてもね多分これはできんかもわからんって、でも決まった以上やろうやって使命やろうってだから使命。
Thus began the quest to make the seemingly impossible a reality. Nevertheless, there were many who still thought the completion of the APCC project beyond their reach.
モンゴルやらね、当時は西側の国に子供を出したことがないという時代だったんですよ。
外務省に相談行った時もボロカス言われたっちゃう。あんたたちなんでこんな無謀なこと考えるねって言って、病気になったらどうするのか、死んだらどうするのか、そりゃそうですよね。そんなこと考えてないんだから。
The biggest problem for the junior chamber was financing the APCC project.
最後の方にね、1億6000万まで集まってで福岡市福岡県もバックアップするということで、あとね数千万取られたよね、もうそれから集まらんのね、毎日ね市役所にじーっとして県に行ってブケーってしたりでいろんなことしてた。
Mr. Kobayashi approached a number of companies looking for sponsorship. Fukuoka Junior Chamber worked tirelessly to raise more than $2 million. Mr. Kobayashi's junior chamber brought a new lease of life to Fukuoka's most influential financial institutions by involving them in something which was to benefit the whole city. To ensure the future cooperation of the sponsors, the Asian Pacific Children's Convention Supporters Association was formed. In 1989, more than 1,000 children came to Fukuoka as part of the APCC project. At last, the junior chamber were able to see the results of all their hard work coming together. However, there were still a number of problems, and everybody involved watched the news in horror as typhoons swept through Japan on the day the children were due to arrive. In the end, they were forced to land in Osaka and catch the Shinkansen bullet train to Fukuoka, delaying the carefully planned programme. Luckily, this turned out to be a relatively minor delay in APCC terms, and a mere 5 hours later than planned, the children arrived in Fukuoka, tired but happy to have reached the end of their various journeys.
来た時どうするかこうするかとかね、子供たちの誘導どうしようかとか、そういうもうシミュレーションやれる時やったよ。それがね一つもうまくいかないよね。こればっかりはいかないよ。
In 1989, the exchange camp housed more than 2,000 people, the biggest APCC event to date. This was a hastily thrown together affair and almost had to be abandoned because the July heat was thought too much for some of our participants to bear.
半分半分やったね。やめましょうというのは半分、やろうというのは半分、献金額々と朝方までやったけど、最終的にやろうって決めた時に、やるためにはじゃあまずみんなに電話しましょうって、体の状態聞きましょうという話だってね。700数近い時に朝8時から電話して状態聞いて、ダメな子はそのまま病院に連れてってくれとかね。
Luckily, it rained the day before the camp, which cooled the air to a more bearable temperature. The staff started to prepare for the children's arrival. The sheer size of the camp was overwhelming, with 1,000 members of staff and enough food to cook more than 10,000 meals. In the end, the first APCC concluded without any major incidents and was hailed as a huge success. Finally, the smile returned to the face of Senji Kobayashi.
予定の4割増しぐらいじゃないですかね。大体そういう入ってるから、もう食事から全てですね。まさかこんなに来ると思わなかったですね。きつかったこともあるけど、やっぱこういう風になってくるとね、やっぱ嬉しいですよね。
Once everything had finished and the children had returned to their home countries, the staff also breathed a sigh of relief.